Well, Happy New Year.
Yep, that feels
It's-
right to say, doesn't it?
It's 2019, and it's so much different now. We're all tooling about in flying cars and shit.
Yeah. Oh no, I had a mad New Year. I can't even remember what I did.
Oh, I did all the things, played all the games, and drank all the drinks, and watched all the films, and fought all the fights, and it was wonderful.
Who are you planning on fighting? I mean, who did you fight on New Year's?
I'll tell you when it happened, about it later.
That's gonna be fucking me, isn't it? I mean, it was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. This is Series 4. This is our 4th year of doing this.
I know it's disgusting, isn't it? That
Go on, sorry.
just that we've managed to keep this going for so long.
Yeah, I've decided to celebrate by having a cold back, the same cold that I had in early December of last year.
Ah, suspicious.
That's how I'm seeing January in. Oh, but isn't it cold? Wasn't Christmas great? Etc.
I mean, you've had that cold for a long time. I think it's something more serious.
You can only catch it once. We today are talking about two of my favourite shows ever, which already nullifies them from being in my top 5 of the year at the end of this year, which seems so far away now, but, you know.
Are
So
these
did the
these
previous
your Gilmore Girls?
Not quite.
I know, they weren't quite as good.
Well, I don't know. Well,
They're very different.
Yeah, very different beasts. Like space, we'll get into like how important space was for me, but they're both two of my absolute favourite shows.
Do you know, I was just trying to annoy you, but it annoyingly didn't work.
No, you can't annoy me. You have no power over me. Like Jareth over Sarah in Labyrinth, which actually I watched over the Christmas period, I'm sure, and I'm very glad of another watch of it because it's a great film.
Do you know, I don't have a film that I always watch at Christmas.
Home Alone, Muppets Christmas Carol.
No.
Of recent years, Nativity. That's maybe not my choice, but you know, it's decent. The first one's decent. The rest are terrible.
No, I normally end up just watching Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. That's it.
Harry Potter's a weird. It has a weird Christmassy magical feel.
I'll be the magic.
Yeah, I find myself. I watch
I like that, just a real dev. Oh yeah, the magic.
Oh, that'll be why. Wizard of Oz is one that I always think of at Christmas as well, and I don't really know why.
That's the point. We still need to go see Wicked because I think you'd like it, even though you're adverse to the musicals.
I can't stand musicals. My cousin, years ago, was a big fan of Wicked. This was back when we were writing fan fiction and stuff. I think she wrote a couple of things about Wicked, and obviously I didn't understand what was going on. But
I mean, to be fair,
very worried.
essentially Wicked is fan fiction.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Well, I mean, I think it. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's written by the same people who wrote Wizards of Oz.
Probably not, because he's dead, isn't he? Oh, what's his name? Baum, something Baum. Frank Baum. I don't know. Frank Baum or something. I'm gonna have a quick Google. You talk about what shows we're gonna do.
Oh, I thought
Very noisily Google something.
Did you not cover it already?
No, I just
cool.
said they were two of my favourites. I didn't actually say which ones they were.
Oh right. Well, we're doing Gilmore Girls
What?
and Him and Her. No, we're doing.
L. Frank Baum. L. Frank Baum. That's who wrote the Wizard of Oz in the year 1900. So I dare say he's probably not written Wicked.
Cool. So yeah, then Wicked is fan fiction in the same way that 50 Shades of Grey is fan fiction of Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that in
Fan fiction's weird, isn't it?
I'm glad that in our first episode of the new series of Co-Pilots featuring The Young Ones and Spaced, we have decided that the guy who wrote Wizard of Oz is probably dead.
You know, we are on topic all the time.
Exactly.
Never
But as I
straying.
As you were saying, we are talking about
The ones who are young and the ones who are high. It's Spaced in the Young Ones.
yes. Which one would you like to begin the conversation on?
How about the one that was 1 released first, 2 is older than me, which always surprises
That
me
doesn't
when that
happen
happens. Yeah.
To be honest, well, your childhood you can remember. It was all in black and white, wasn't it?
Some of it.
Right, come on then, young ones.
Yeah, they are apparently students.
They are students.
I mean,
For students.
I found as much as I didn't realise until towards the end of the episode when Rick just goes, "This is a student house," and I was like, "Is it? Did you just not leave?" Because that's the dream, really, to not leave.
Well, I'm really intrigued as to what you think about this, because I feel like it's a little bit of an acquired taste. But when I was going through my discovering what comedy was, I heard. I can't remember. I think I saw like a clip of. There's an episode where they go on University Challenge, and I think I saw a clip of it on some. At Christmas you get all the top 50 comedy moments or top 50. Or it was one of those sort of things. And I saw that clip and I decided, right, well, I need to see this. And I started looking for it on YouTube, and then my parents got me the DVDs for Christmas, and I sort of had them on hard rotation for a long time. So I love the young ones, but I'm intrigued as to what you think about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, I got into comedy a very different way, I think. I got into it just through watching, like, Graham Norton, and then Channel 4 started showing stand-up. And then that's sort of how I fell into comedy. So my favourite kind of comedy is always, like, live. Live's my favourite kind of comedy. But with this, I got a real vibe that it's all... Everyone in it is someone who's very used to being on stage.
Yeah.
Because everything's, like, super over the top, and all of the looks to camera are more looks to, like, the audience. I mean, that's the way I saw it anyway, and I was just like... I was sort of curious, like, if it was actually filmed in front of, like, a live audience or something, but I don't think it was.
I don't know. Because some of the cutaway guys, like when they burst through into Next Door and it's the weird gypsy people with the crystal ball, that bit is always a bit I fast forward when I was younger, because I'm like, I don't really get this bit.
I think that's just there as like a... This is weird, isn't it? And then it just... So that Rick can just come back and just be like, will you shut up? Well, I think everything they're saying is irrelevant to the actual show.
Yeah.
But
completely.
it's just, like, so you can get that. Give it enough to, like, get people going. This show is taking a really weird turn. I'm not sure if I'm... Oh, okay, he's telling them to shut up. That's good. Because I was just about to change the channel.
Oh, did you struggle with it at all?
No, it was fairly simple and easy to get into, I think.
But there was no point you're like, what the fuck is this?
No, I mean, it was... Yeah, no, it was just pretty...
Weird.
It was easy watching, I think. I don't think... Yeah, it's weird, but I'm fine with that. I'm weird, so... It's just like, this does not remind me of being a student. Cool. They are way more so than I expected them to be.
Well, this is, the 80s. But it's a piss take. It's not meant to be like a... this is absolutely what it's like. But I just fucking... I love it so much just because it's so ridiculous. But is it... I can't remember the name of the band in this one, because each episode there was a weird technicality with when they pitched it to the BBC, is that they didn't have a slot for another sitcom, but they did for a variety show. So then they went away and was like, right, well, we're just going to put musical acts in it, and then we can class it as a variety show.
That's incredible.
So every single episode has got a weird bit where they just cut away to a band who's in the flat or something, and one of the episodes, the one that I mentioned earlier, where they go on University Challenge, it's fucking Motorhead.
That's brilliant.
Honestly, that's one of my favourite episodes of anything ever.
No, I don't imagine the BBC does that so much anymore, where they're just like, we have opening for this kind of show if you make one. I think it would take like a very sort of, not brave set of writers to go, screw it, we're getting on telly. We'll do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because it means they can just introduce it as like a, and then there's just some music, and then they go, and back to whatever we were doing. Which in this case was being like,
we got a letter from the council.
yeah, and just no one really. I like the. Also, you've got. Is it Neil?
Neil's the hippie, yeah. So
Neil's the one who is really a fan of suicide.
Yeah, Rick's the poet and twat. Vivian is the punk. Neil is the hippie, and Mike is the cool guy.
Isn't that just his character name? Is actually just Mike the cool guy?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like. It seems like a lot of what they do is just ignore each other entirely. Like they're all trying to talk about stuff, but no one. It's almost like for the first sort of half of the episode, they're all having different conversations that no one else is involved in.
Yeah.
Especially as they're finishing dinner and like Neil's just going, "Well, no, this is my last dinner," and everyone's just like, "Cool."
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Neil.
He's like talking about how cool his gallows are, and he's like, when the trapdoor goes, it's gonna play the music, and then he
lock around the clock, isn't it?
Yeah, and then he like pulls the trapdoor and just is just stood there, and he's like, you see the little women on the bus who were just like, what he needed was a longer rope. No, a shorter rope. A longer rope would have made way less sense.
I think my favourite joke in the whole thing is when Rick's so to stop the council demolishing their house. But actually, I got a couple of favourite jokes about that. But it's where Rick has tied himself to a cross on the wall right outside the front of the house, and Neil comes on and goes, "Oh, Rick, crucifixion's a really terrible way to kill yourself. There's no way to hammer in the last nail."
Which I mean I never really thought about it, but that would be true. There is no way to crucify yourself.
But there's another bit where Vivian puts his head out the window and bites a brick and it just explodes. It's like, some of these bricks explode.
Yeah, I'm imagining. Is there any? Because obviously you've seen it all. Is there any like through story to it, or is it just a lot of like one-off mad situations?
Yeah, it's all completely one of them's like got a really amazing premise in that at the start you see a plane and it drops a bomb, and then it goes to the opening titles, and then I can't remember who it is, but someone walks into the kitchen and the bomb has just fallen through the roof and is leaning up against the fridge, and they just all completely ignore it till the very end of the episode.
Yeah, I mean to be fair, there's not a huge amount of it to watch, is there?
It's 2 series. It's weird. The British sitcoms often do that. The Office, Fawlty Towers, Young Ones. They always do 2 series and then that's it. They're done.
I mean, it's not an awful thing.
No, it's I mean, it means it.
As has been well established, The Walking Dead is still going, and it shouldn't be.
Spaced. It's another one. That's 2 series.
I guess to an extent, maybe the people in it just get bored, and no one made them sign long enough contracts.
But I just remember another way that Young Ones influenced me is that I had a hamster a few years ago, and I called it SPG after the hamster in the Young Ones.
When did you have a hamster?
Oh, it was actually just after uni. I came home one day and Mum was like, "Oh, I got you a hamster." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, our neighbour was chucking it out, so I got it."
Was it dead when you got it? Because you don't just chuck out a live hamster.
No. As I said to the judge, it died well before I got there. So there's no way you kept it. But yeah.
And gave it a name.
Yeah.
Are you Lenny?
Sorry? I've not even read that book and I understand that.
I'm glad you understand. Otherwise, that would have been a real. Gonna have to edit that out. No, I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch more of it.
Oh, if you do struggle to find it anyway, I'll send you the DVDs because I've got them here.
No, it shouldn't be that hard to find it. It's fairly easy to find the first episode, so
Yeah, cool. No, it's genuinely brilliant, and if nothing else, I think my favourite is it's in series 2, is the one where they go on University Challenge, and because it's written by Ben L and obviously Rick Mayall's in it, so it's all the comedy lot from like Blackadder and Cambridge Footlights, all that sort of stuff. So Stephen Fry's in, and Hugh Laurie and Emma Thompson are in that episode.
Yeah, I guess that's where it comes from. Like the reason that I felt like it was a lot of like the Cambridge Footlights like connection. It's probably what made me sort of go, these people all look like they should be on stage.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
They should be. Get them off my telly.
But yeah, we haven't really talked about what happens in the episode, but the story's sort of by the by. It's more just like them interacting with each other and just...
or, for the first episode, not interacting with each other, really.
And the fights that Rick and Vivian have. There's an amazing fight where Vivian chases Rick upstairs, and then you see Vivian's got like a cannon.
Fine.
Where'd you get that howitzer? He's like, I found it.
No, that's the thing. It's another one of those TV shows that I think we found that is just. I say we found the ones that come up that turn out to be just easy watching are always ones that one of us has already seen.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how easy watching gets on the podcast.
Talking of easy watching, Spaced.
That was a good solid segue.
Thanks very much. It wasn't until you pointed out how good the segue was.
Have you noticed that that's how all of our segues go?
Yeah, definitely. Spaced. Oh, Spaced. I do love Spaced. Spaced. I came to Spaced after I'd seen Shaun of the Dead, and I decided that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost were going to be my best friends at one point.
How wrong you were.
Well, I mean, a lot of people at work have said, you know, when the time comes that Nick Frost is making a film where he needs someone to play his son, I'm going to be available.
It's true. Although you're losing weight, I don't know if you could be.
I could be his slighter son.
I could be slightly his son, please. Just let me be in the film.
Just let me near him.
Just look. I've stalked him for 17 years.
Like, forget the court order. Just let me near him. Yeah, Spaced is a sitcom that it sort of it makes a point of managing to relate everyday situations to other stuff. So like films and TV shows and stuff like that. Like there'll be scenes where someone will imagine a situation, like Mike, Nick Frost character, imagines a situation, and it is just the scene from The Matrix where they run into the office building and shoot the fuck out of everything.
Ah.
Had you seen this before?
No.
Really?
No, not at all.
That's mad. Because the number of times I went round and round watching this at uni. Honestly, I'd pretty much watched the entire lot, series 1 and 2, every day for a good long time when I was at uni. I'd just get in, stick it on, be doing other bits, and just have it on in the background.
Well, I mean, you never invited me, so.
Well, that was in second year, so I definitely knew you.
Yeah, so really, this is on you. The fact that I haven't seen this before is on you.
Well, I'm glad to introduce you to it now. What did you think of Spaced?
Well, I thought the man who nearly directed Ant-Man did well. It was good.
Well, that's all we have time for.
That was just it. Just cool.
So Tim is kicked out of his flat with by his girlfriend. Daisy leaves a homeless guy, and they meet in a cafe looking for somewhere to live. They find a flat, says professional couple only. They fake the fact that they have a relationship to get into the flat, and they manage it. So they're trying to keep up this appearance of being in a relationship from their landlady Marsha, and it's about them just living in London. And it's
fucking living in London, £90 a week. So I don't fucking think so. I mean, not that it's not a lot.
I know, but what is it now, roughly? Just ballpark figure.
Ballpark figure, more than that.
To be fair, looking at the space they get as well, and the building it's in, and the area it's in, that's not £90 a week.
Well, I'm currently paying half of $4.10 a week ish.
Jesus.
Yeah, so this story's bullshit.
I didn't actually. Sorry, I was going back to Young Ones quickly. Did you? Because I'm going to ask you the same thing for this. Did you have a favourite character in the Young Ones?
I think probably Neil.
Really?
Yeah, no, I really liked him.
See, I've always loved Vivian because he's mental. And with Spaced, do you have a favourite character in Spaced?
Bill Bailey.
Bilbo.
Yeah, Bill Bailey.
Yeah, but his character is Bilbo.
Yeah, but he's Bill Bailey. And he's my favourite. From this first episode where he has no lines, but he's the manager in a comic book shop, so he's my favourite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Series 2. He has a featuring story about Tim in the comic shop.
No, I don't really know if I had a favourite character from. So maybe who's the artist that lives downstairs?
Brian.
Maybe him.
Brian Top.
Just because
he's utterly mental.
Yeah. Because they're talking about art, and he's just it just keeps cutting away to him just breaking shit.
What sort of stuff do you use? Anger, pain, fear, aggression.
I think the last one is I can't wait to him just smashing an egg, and it's are you alright, mate?
There's a lot of good references to video games in this show as well. There's an episode where Tim stays up all night playing Resident Evil, and it sends him mental. He starts seeing zombies everywhere. Which is where they got the idea for Shaun of the Dead, because there's a little sequence where Tim's running about the flat with a shotgun shooting zombies in the head.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch Spaced all again. I love it. It's like a proper comfort blanket show for me, just because it's so familiar to me.
That's the thing. I'm probably gonna watch the rest of both of these.
Oh, that's good. Have we ever had that before? Where we've said we're gonna watch both of them?
I have. Yeah, there have been a few where that's happened.
Has there?
I can't remember what they are though. I don't think it's happened for you. It's definitely happened for me before.
Not last series anyway. I don't really remember. Series 2. No, because to be fair, if I did have one that I was gonna carry on watching, I generally had seen the other one.
Yeah, I can't think of an example. I feel like the example I'm thinking of in my head is Gilmore Girls. So that was a pretty.
But yeah, really Space goes up and they go on to get a dog called Colin, who's cute as fuck. It's an amazing episode where they go clubbing. Honestly, it's so fucking good. The thing about both of these shows is I feel like they capture a sort of time. So Spaced is all about what it's like being our sort of age in the 90s, and obviously Young Ones is what it's like being a student. Not really what it's like being a student, but it's set being a student in the 80s.
Yeah, no,
it's something I guess we don't, a more relatable thing to us would be probably the Fresh Meat or the In-Betweeners, but I fucking love both of them. I got nothing more critically to say other than I love them.
Yeah, I don't really have any criticisms of them, apart from that I don't know. Maybe Space could have been 30 minutes instead of 24, but
I think it's just it's nice having growing up the way we have, getting into nerdy shit and geekery and stuff, and then having a show that every single situation is related to something from film or TV or just pop culture.
Yeah, that's not something you get a lot. But no, it's not.
Although there's that really weird episode where they go on Robot Wars, where it's like Fight Club.
That sounds awesome.
It's really good. and they have a robot. They build this robot and they paint TFU on the side. Daisy comes in and says, "What's TFU stand for?" Tim just goes, "The fuckest uppest."
Yeah. No, and it's weird because I hadn't seen anything that like Simon Pegg had done before, like Shaun of the Dead.
He did a sketch show called Big Train as well. That was good.
Yeah, never seen that. I think I've only ever seen him in films. I don't think I've ever seen him do TV stuff. So,
to be fair, I'm a little bit obsessed with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Speaking of stuff that we watch like yearly at Christmas stuff, there is an episode of a show that they did, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost did, like way over 10 years ago. And actually Lenny Henry did it and Matt Lucas and Dave Williams did it too, but it's called Perfect Night In. I might have mentioned this before. It's called Pegg and Frost's Perfect Night In, and it's the two of them like talking about the TV and films that they remember watching growing up.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that.
I make a point of watching that every year, because that's how we got into a lot of other stuff. Like, it's how I knew that Twin Peaks existed and American Werewolf in London and Pop Fiction, Dawn of the Dead.
They didn't tell you that Twin Peaks is fucking mad and hard to follow.
No, apparently, that's supposedly taken as read. I heard a mental thing about Twin Peaks. You know, they've just done a recent series like last year.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, because David Bowie shows up in like an earlier film or series or something. Apparently, because he died a couple of years ago. Apparently, they just replaced his character with a giant teapot.
I mean, what the fuck?
I'm googling it now because I'm not. I might have completely misrepresented what actually happened, but
I mean, to be fair though, Twin Peaks was mental.
Oh yeah, I really struggle with when something's that mental. I don't understand how people could say, "Oh yeah, it's really good." Like I mean, I struggle with stuff that's not about story. You know,
I can't even remember. I barely remember what happened. I suppose we watched it with Bates Motel, and Bates Motel's a lot more straightforward.
Yeah,
it's like he's going to be a serial killer. Cool.
It's a lot.
How does he get to that point?
I have heard that the Twin Peaks movie, it's got A Fire Walk With Me, is one of the scariest films ever made. But the trouble is, I feel like I can't watch it if I've not seen the TV show.
I think I seem to be doing things backwards, where there's a TV show that follows the same story, and I'm just like, maybe I could just watch the TV show first, spend hours of my lives really sort of trying to understand these characters, and then go, now give me the 2-hour film and I'll watch that.
So Young Ones, you're going to carry on watching. Space, you're going to carry on watching.
Yeah, and you already have, so
I've seen all of them many, many times. Fucking marvellous. Well, what a lovely return to the Co-Pilots podcast. If you like any of this, there is a new podcast we're launching on our network called Co-Directors, which is where we talk about directors, pilot, if you will, feature films, their debut feature films, and our first one is Shane Meadows. So if you like his stuff, go and have a look at that, give it a listen, pay us some money, give us a goat.
Mate, I'd love a goat.
I'd quite like a goat.
That's all I took from that. I mean, I don't know where I'd keep a fucking goat, but I'd love one.
Well, when you move into your new place, you can have a little goat room. Oh, if you get the one... Oh, you didn't get the one with the garden, did you? No, you have to find one with the garden so you can keep your goat in it.
Sounds like that'll be against some sort of tenancy agreement or something.
Nah, be fine.
Yeah, no pets in the flat. Technically, it's a farm animal.
Technically, it's livestock, so fuck you, landlord.
I think I've showed you. You're leaving. Like, why am I leaving? Why are you leaving?
Leave.
What do you mean I don't live here anymore? But I was inside number 9.
Our next episode is one that we tried to squeeze in last year. Do you remember? Something went wrong with it. I can't remember why, but something happened. We had this planned quite early on.
This might have been planned for season 2.
No way.
Yeah, and we bumped it for more crime and horror.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Our next two shows are going to be Atypical and Friends from College. Shows about which I know nothing.
One of them, I think, it might be about friends from college, and the other one, I have no idea.
Cool. let's find out together.
Well, separately, and then we'll come together and discuss.
Yes. Goodbye.
Nah, I'm gonna stay here forever. You've stopped recording, haven't you?